Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Impact and Influence Author Show. You've got your host, Rhonda Knight, here. I'm excited that you're here with us as our viewers because we have someone that's very dynamic today. This author is amazing. And let me tell you, if you're into business, if you're into wanting to make money, you want to hear from her. I know personally, she knows what she's doing in her book. Bringing Your A Game is going to answer a lot of questions for you. So make sure you go ahead and tell your other friends, get on here. We need to learn something. You know, right now in these days, we need to do what we can to make that extra money and to make sure that we're secure because we have to look out for ourselves. If you guys are getting what I'm saying, nowadays you got to maybe change your way of thinking and doing things so that you can make sure you and your family are taken care of. So, first of all, welcome to the show. And secondly, let me introduce you to my wonderful guest. Her name is Lucretia Davis Daniel. And hey, Lucretia, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. Well, listen, the one thing I like to always do on the show is I like my viewers to get a feel of who you are. So who is Lucretia? Lucretia, I say your name so quickly, but I want to make sure they get it right. Lucretia Davis Daniel. Who are you?
Oh my gosh, I am a woman that you know what? I am a woman who loves to have fun. I am just, I feel excited about life. I'm excited about where we are, where I am in my journey in life. I always try to look on the bright side of things. And if you see over my shoulder here, this is my banner. When I speak, my mantra is, whatever you focus on expands in your life. So if you focus on positive, you're going to bring about more positive. If you focus on negative, you're going to bring about more negative. If you're focusing on what other people are doing and saying about you or about whatever, then you fall into their trap. I'm someone who just wants to focus on making my life and the people around me better. And, you know, there are some things that we can do together. I love collaboration. I love that I had the opportunity to meet you. It's been almost 2 years now.
Yes.
It feels
like wonderful 2 years.
Yeah, wonderful 2 years. And it feels like I've known you most of my life because, Rhonda, you are a kindred spirit with the same type of philosophy that I have and that we have pretty much surrounded ourselves with. So
I love it. And thank you. And I agree. I say the same thing about you. You and people, listen, you want to surround yourself with people who are doing positive things, people who are making change, people who are making a difference, people who are moving forward. What is impact and influence about, guys? You already know. It's to impact and influence lives for positive change. And that's the type of authors you'll see on this show. Now, remember, when you're watching the show, don't forget to follow me. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe on the other channel because, you know, I'm streaming live in 3 places. So I want to make sure you guys do those things so we can make sure we build up our audience and you guys are able to hear some of the wonderful guests and shows that we have. Okay. So Lucretia, my next question for you is, what does it mean? And let me show you guys her beautiful book cover too. I love it because I'm a bling bling girl. I don't have my bling bling on today, but I am a bling bling girl. Where am I in this picture? There we are. So let me slide over a little bit so we can keep your picture up there nice and, you know, it's so funny is when you're on your camera, you got to think, which way do I slide? Is it this way or that way?
The way you think. Yeah, okay.
Let's see. Follow the picture.
I can also hold it up here too.
Yes, but I want to talk to you and have you book up at the same time too. So
okay.
I think I'm going the right way. We'll see in a minute. I can lean. I could always lean like that.
Okay.
Right? This is fun part.
Right here. Because we need to see your beautiful face as well.
Yes, because I want to see me too, so I can see you good. Well, you know, guys, I love that you understand. Please understand about me as your host. Even when I do Real Talk Around the Night, which is on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can go to my page and watch Real Talk Around the Night. But even when I'm doing this show, the Impact and Influence Author Show, I just like to be me and keep it real. So you'll see me do silly things like try to figure out which way I need to go or whatever. It's okay because you're going to get some wonderful information and you're going to meet some wonderful people that are doing amazing things. So back to you, Lucretia. Now, bringing your A game. What does that mean when you say bring your A game? What does it mean?
Well, yeah, let me just start by prefacing that Bringing Your A Game is a book where I am a contributing author in this book. There are
Mhm.
seven other women who talk about bringing your A game, and that's being at really the top of your game. And so, when I was asked to be a collaborator with this, I thought it was really great because we were masterminding together. And you, in this book, you're going to hear from several other women who are at the top of their game in whatever field they're in. And so the whole premise of the book is there were 10 questions that were asked, and we got
Mhm.
to answer those questions and just kind of go deep inside of us to think about what does it mean to us. First of all, the first question was, what does bringing your A game mean to you? And so I had an opportunity to think about it, to mull it over, and just talk about what it means to me. It means that I'm stepping up and I'm not slacking on anything. I am actually thinking about where I need to be in every area of my life. It's not just one thing because life isn't just one focus. It's about everything kind of coming together. And
So
so
it's
bring
bring
mhm,
your A game not just for business, but bring
mhm,
your A game in, like you said, every aspect of your life. I love
every
this, and I love that it's a collaboration of women. Shout
mhm.
out to the women out there that's doing a great job as authors. We love you, men too. Please understand. But shout out to the women that are expressing themselves. So
Mhm.
go ahead. So you were saying that they had 10 points that each of you
Yeah,
had to answer.
exactly 10 things.
Mhm.
So in the book, the first thing that each one of us had an opportunity to do was tell a little bit about ourselves and describe, our A game. And I just told about where I came from. I grew up. I was born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina. That's where I went to school in South Carolina. Went to college there. Then I moved to Atlanta. Right. Uh, well, maybe a few years after I graduated from college, had the opportunity to go to work with a consulting firm. But each one of the decisions that I made in my life kind of was based on just some things that I had thought about and where I wanted to go. I never really wanted to be under anybody's thumb. We were brought up when I came up to believe, and it was really good at that point in time because that's where we were as a nation, as a people.
Mhm.
Get an education, then you get a good job, then you go to work for someone. But I was never that person to have a thumb on me. And bringing my A game was, what can I do in my life to um, serve who I am, but also earn the kind of living that I needed to make. And
Mhm.
so I started very early on with entrepreneurship, um,
Okay.
and enjoyed it. I enjoyed people. I enjoy just being out there expressing myself and helping others do the same. So bringing my A game was just being true to who I was and not feeling like I had to fall in line with what was expected or what society expected of you. Go to school, finish college, get a good job. And
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a moment.
okay.
So, I mean, and guys, listen, when we talk about being an entrepreneur, it's not knocking the people that do the 9 to 5. I mean, if that's your thing and you want to do it, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But Lucretia, when she says we have like minds, I'm that same way. I
Mm-hmm.
just can't. One of our authors that you guys will hear from later on, and that'll be at the conference, which we're going to talk about in a little while too. But his book talks about leaving corporate America and following your dream and your passion. And just as Lucretia is saying here, if it's within you and you see that bringing your A game is not sitting in, at someone's desk or working with someone, under their thumb or whatever, if bringing your A game means for you to get out there and follow your vision, follow your passion, and do those things that it's going to take to be successful as an entrepreneur or as an author, because it's an author show too. So that might be one of your passions. Of course, you're watching the show. I'm hoping it is. But so what do you say to people that are afraid to just go out and bring their A game? What would you say to them?
Well, whatever they're doing, okay. So let's just talk to the beginning of that. They're afraid.
Okay.
Okay, what
Mm-hmm.
does afraid mean? Afraid. A lot of folks, they have this fear, and it's the fear of the unknown. I would say
Mm-hmm.
take baby steps and um, take baby steps toward where you want to go. You don't have to take a giant leap. Now, when I said that corporate and being working for someone else wasn't for me, but let
Mhm.
me just say that wasn't for me. But I want to just applaud the people who are out there who are working in corporate. We need
Mhm.
people in every area. There
We
are
do.
folks who start in corporate and they do some amazing things, and I want to applaud them because I love seeing people rise wherever they want to be, you know,
Mhm.
in life. But what I say to those, and like you said, this is an author show. Um, I remember wanting to just write, and I say this: everybody has it in them to be an author. Everybody has a
Mhm.
story. Everybody's story is important. It really
Mhm.
is. And so,
True.
don't be afraid to step out and look for avenues where you can express yourself, because you can express yourself in different ways. You know, there's some folks that like to write poetry.
Mhm.
There's some folks that like to write stories. Anytime you can close your eyes and dream and imagine, open it and write it down. You can keep your journal. Now, I believe in journals. I have
Mhm.
every, going back, well, probably since the 80s, I started
Wow.
journals down, and I keep a journal. I keep a journal beside me all the time. You can see it right here. Here's one of my journals.
See,
I
she's not kidding.
write down. I do. And so, telling your story, just think about that. And when we have an opportunity, and I really want to do a bringing your A game, just my maybe an evening of talking about it, and
Mhm.
maybe go through those questions that we were asked with a group of folks. And maybe Rhonda, you can help me do that, and maybe at the
Sure.
conference I'll do something like that. But one of
Mhm.
the questions, and let me just go back to that, one of the questions that was asked after that was, what do you think is your greatest strength, and how do you use it in bringing your A game? And so we get people thinking about, okay, what is my greatest strength? Because
Mhm.
so many times in growing up, we hear no so much that we're conditioned to buy into the negative instead of the
Mhm.
positive around situations. So I
That's
want to
good.
know what people think is their strength. Okay,
Mhm.
because everybody has good thoughts about themselves, and that needs to be encouraged to
Mhm.
folks to think about, so what is my strength, and so ponder that. I want people to think about that, write it down. And I had to think about that, and I said that my greatest strength is the ability to connect with, lead, and help others in a most positive way. I love helping people achieve and get what it is they want. That's what I do. uh,
And you know what? You do it well too. And let me tell you, listen, folks, this lady here, I again try to surround myself with positive people, people that are moving and going somewhere and doing something. When she does a business venture, you want to jump on it. I'm going to be interviewing her later on too on Real Talk Around tonight. We're going to talk about the other stuff she does because she is dynamic. She was born a leader. I mean, when I say that she brings her A game for sure, from the day one when I met her, I already knew. And I was like, hey, listen, I'm going to go right under your wing because I'm going to hang out with you because I want to be just like you in the business venture that we did. And I sure told her when we first met. And because I believe in, if someone's done, if they've done a job of being very successful at the thing that they're ventured off into, that's the people I want to follow. Then I don't have to bump my head and, trip over stuff to get where they are. I'm going to listen to the people that's there and say, okay, all right, that's the way I need to do it. Okay, great. So when I say you definitely want to get this book, now when we talked about the conference, and I'm going to put this information
mhm.
up here, we've got the Impact and Influence Authors Conference coming up. It's March 26th through the 28th. It's going to be in the beautiful Embassy Suites in Gwinnett, and that's in Duluth,
Mhm.
Georgia. Now, guess what? It is a free weekend long event, 3-day event from Friday to Sunday. You can come out free. You can meet wonderful authors like Lucretia. We have 14 featured authors, and they're going to be having a session where, like how she's sharing with you now, you'll literally be able to talk with her during her, her session, and ask questions and learn from this dynamic woman who is amazing. Now she excels not only in business, but like she said, she brings her A game in everything that she does. How awesome is that? Because a lot of times we might slack, we might bring our C game or our G game and not that A game when it comes to certain things. But think about this. When we talk about authors that impact lives, her book, and that she's one of the writers of several female writers of this book. Her book encourages you not only to bring your A game when you're doing business, but to bring your A game in every aspect of your life. So it's making you think, just like she said when she first was asked the question, she had to think about it like, well, what do I do with this? Or, how am I at that? Or whatever the question was. So you guys need this book. You really do. It's going to help change your life. It's going to help you look at things a lot differently. You definitely want to be at the conference. You can go to our website right here, and you'll have the opportunity to meet Lucretia, who will be speaking. And you'll have an opportunity to dine with her at our Evening with the Literary Stars, where you can just kind of mingle and have an intimate setting with them. There's going to be a beautiful award ceremony for the 2021 Impact and Influence Author of the Year. You definitely want to be a part of it. But all the details are at our website right there, Lady Knight Enterprises Publishing. Speaking of publishing, if you need publishing, you definitely can talk to me about that. I am very affordable with what I do because I heard so many stories over the years of people who have been taken advantage of when they went to publish, or they didn't know exactly how to do it, or they tried to do their own book and it didn't come out exactly how they thought. But I'm here to help you in any aspect I can if you're looking for publishing services. But I definitely want you to be at this conference. And come on, it's free. But Lucretia, guess what? I got a surprise for them. You can also be a VIP at the conference. Now, you guys hear me say it all the time. I'm that girl that wants to be on that front row. I want to hear everything. I want to see everything. I'm going to buy everything that I see. Like, give me the bag, give me the t-shirt, give me whatever you're selling, give me the books. I'm going to buy probably everybody's books. Even this time around when I'm in the conference, I still go and buy books from other people, because I want to read their books. And, if you love to read, if you love to just be among people that are doing positive things, and you want to have a beautiful, positive weekend, let me let you know also that we are definitely practicing social distancing. We are following everything that the CDC says that we should follow, and above that, to make sure that it's going to be the best experience for you. So go to the website, learn about the conference, and then sign up. It's easy. It's very simple. Click there, go there, sign up. So Lucretia, let me ask you.
Okay.
Who or what inspired you to want to write? Oh, let me go back to something you said too. She said she's been journaling, I think you said since the 80s. Am I right?
Really, before then, when I was in school, I would always write things down. And that goes back to my influence. My mother.
Okay.
My mother, who I'm her namesake, and she was a teacher. She taught English and French, and then she went back and she got her degree in library science. So she was a librarian for most of her educational career. And she would bring books home all the time for us to read, while everybody else was out playing in the neighborhood. Our friends would come by. I say we because I have a twin sister. So my life is has been lived with a partner, who is just dynamic, even in some instances more so than I am. But Mom would have us reading, and we actually started reading before we even got into school. And I just love the idea of reading. And then we started writing and just, journaling and writing things down and just little ideas and this, that, and the other. And so that got me into just writing and journaling. And when I say journaling, I'm not writing down what happened at school and all that. I'm journaling down my thoughts, just things that maybe ideas that just pop into my head. I'm writing that down. Oh, I thought about this, I thought about that, but really never had been encouraged or coached into, as a young person to write a book. Like today, in today's age, we're encouraging, preschoolers and elementary school folks to write books. And so when we were growing up, that wasn't a priority for our parents and those who were around us. They were other
Mhm.
bigger things that they were trying to get us through. But I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to do this. And this isn't really my only book. I mean, I've got since I'm a trainer, I have training books and things that I have like the 7 Ups to Success is a training series and book, and that's what I want to talk to you about. My next thing that I'm going to be bringing out to the marketplace. It's
Okay.
um, and I've got other things. So I mean, there's just so much, and
Mhm.
collaboration with my twin sister too. Uh,
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
and I know that's me, yeah, the twin perspective, and
Oh,
so
I love
yeah,
it.
we just everything that's happened over our lives and all of that, and kind of the way we grew up in our neighborhood in Columbia, South Carolina, back in the 60s and 70s, on Bowling Avenue, so that's coming, maybe Bowling Avenue Chronicles with all the folks that we grew up with who are doing some great things in their own right. And so just bringing that to light and maybe some little nuggets about um, although things weren't the way we wanted it to be, but we didn't focus on that. We focused on what we had at hand, and we were taught,
Mhm.
the things that we were taught growing up. Just the principles of just what has happened in my life growing up, and what we chose to focus on. That
Okay.
is helped, myself and others in my circle to where we are today. So,
Awesome. That sounds great.
yeah.
So, speaking of just going back a little bit to when you're talking about journaling, now
Mhm,
we always want to, of course, inspire those aspiring authors. So,
mhm,
I really think like when people like Lucretia, when they do things like journaling, it actually, when you get ready to write a book, if you want to bring some of that material and some things you thought about and some ideas and some things
mhm,
that was on your mind, journaling is a great way to pull together and take those journals and you can write a book with your journals. I
mhm.
know of several people who have done that. So it's always a good idea to journal. I think it is. I write a lot of stuff down and I do have some journals, but I'm not that one that's that's avid, that's always writing in my journal. But I
Yeah.
do write on everything. I have all kinds of stuff with writing on it, especially when I get an idea. I'll type like, "Oh, I need to make a book about that." So you've got several other books in you that you're looking at
Mhm.
coming out with. I do know you have the steps to
7 Up
success.
to Success, yeah.
Yes,
Well,
and that talk
yeah.
about that a little bit.
Okay, yeah, the 7 Ups to Success really is a actually it's a journal, and it's a series that I wrote and trained. It's a training series of the 7 Ups to Success that it's been about 10 years old, but it's a kind of a training that I put on tape. And then you
Okay.
have the journal that goes with it to help
Mhm.
everyone. So it's really a guide to successful living. And so the 7 Ups to Success. So it starts out with the first up. I'll give you the first up, which is wake
Okay.
up. Wake up.
I love it.
Wake up doesn't mean get up out of bed. Wake up means wake up to a different way of thinking. And you
Mm.
know what? Over the last several years, as I talk about it and I go out and I talk and train it, and get people involved with it, new things are happening every day. So you always have to, wake up. Wake up means, what are you going to do? Take a look at where we are. And this past year is just an example of folks cannot stay where they were.
Mhm.
2020 was a year for everybody across the globe,
Yes,
across the planet to wake up.
it
What are
sure
you
was.
what is going to be your next step? How are you going to position yourself for not just survival? We're not talking about survival. We're talking about thriving. We're talking about
Mhm.
wealth building. We're talking about all of that. And we'll talk about that, about the business and how I help people get themselves set up in business. But
Mhm.
um, 7 Up to Success is just a guide to living. And it
Okay.
is a book where you journal. I ask you questions. I tell stories. And so it has some, great stories and examples.
Mhm.
What it does is it helps prompt the person that has the 7 Up to make it their own. and
Awesome.
and so we'll talk about that because I want
Okay.
I really would like to launch that with Rhonda Knight Publishing. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And you know what?
Okay.
It's so awesome. I love that you're talking about that. And guys, listen, she gave you a little bit of a sneak preview of what's going to happen on Real Talk around tonight when I interview her. Now I don't have my calendar in front of you, so I can't tell you which day. But so stay tuned. Always Tuesdays and Thursdays. Impact and Influence author shows are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 p.m. So make sure you're here, and that's Eastern Standard Time. If you're an aspiring author, if you're a seasoned author, if you are a new author, or just someone that just has a love for books and you want to come on my show, there's a way you can do that. Also, for my authors out there, you can become a member of the Impact and Influence Authors Association. It's a wonderful membership that brings like-minded people together. It's a great opportunity to network. It's got a lot of special advantages you have as a member. But when you go to our website, and I'm going to put that back up there for you again, when you go there, there's a page for that to learn about the Impact and Influence Authors Association. Be a part of that. You want to be a part of something that's doing great things in the community and in the world. And as an author, you want to position yourself to be a part of as many things as you can, so that people get used to hearing your name and seeing your picture. Okay, we know what branding and marketing. If you have a book, you definitely are not. Well, if you just write because you want to write and you don't care if anybody reads it, that's fine. If that's your thing that you want to do. But if you want your book in other people's hands, you definitely want to position yourself wherever you can, and you want to take the opportunity to come on shows or speak or go to book signings or go to conferences, wherever you can mingle with other people and network with other like-minded people. And that's what's going to take you to that next level. It's going to help you get to the point where a lot of the things that Lucretia is sharing with you here today, where you can set yourself up for that. So, Lucretia, let me ask you, so what do you think being a part of the Impact and Influence conference, what does it mean to you to be a part of this dynamic event that's coming up?
Oh my gosh. First of all, I'm honored that I was invited to be a part of it, and that I had the good sense to accept the but the name itself, Impact and Influence Conference. We all can collectively make an impact on each other, on the world, on folks who are looking, who don't have the answers. Maybe just tuning in just a little bit with us can help. But as you bring the authors together in a collaboration and in and the folks that are there, I think it's going to spark something that is great for everyone. Impact. We're all going to make an impact. I can't wait to meet the other authors. I'm
Oh,
always
yeah.
learning. I'm always taking notes. I'm always inspired by other people, like-minded people. It's going to be just amazing. Anyone who lives in the area, I would, even outside of the area, I would just make it to Gwinnett last weekend of March and get there. You
Yes.
never know what might happen.
True.
You will never advance in your life if you don't expose yourself to other ideas. And so I'm looking forward to it. I am so looking forward to it, Rhonda.
I am too. I can't wait. Listen, I do this conference. I present this conference through Lady Night Enterprises Publishing in association with the Impact and Influence Authors Association. We have Shades of Amber, by the way, who is one of our sponsors for the event, and some other sponsors as well. But that's one of our major sponsors. Plus,
right.
guys, something I didn't mention to you, I think that I haven't even mentioned it on any of the shows, but part of the proceeds that are collected during the time of for donations or whatever, part of the proceeds go to help HUMS, Uplifting Hearts, Minds, and Souls. And that is a nonprofit to help stop violence towards people, especially women and kids, people who have been through dating violence, domestic violence, sexual assault, rape, whatever. And it's an opportunity for us to reach out in the community to make a difference for those people and those families. So when you come out, when you're part of it, know that you're also helping with a worthy cause. So definitely, we definitely want to see you there. And Lucretia, you're right. I mean, for me, I've done this conference, many times, and I'm still always excited. And when I say we have people coming from everywhere, I mean, as far as California and Washington, and some
Excellent.
are authors and some are just people who want to come to the conference. So it doesn't matter. Definitely, if you're here, you need to be there. And we only can take 100 people in, guys, at one time. Now, you can come and go, but we're only going to have at least no more than 100 people in the ballroom at one point. It's a very large ballroom, and you will have social distance in your seating. VIP people, of course, you're up front. You got to have that VIP and all the fun stuff that goes with that. But it's an opportunity, even if you're not here in Georgia, to just take a weekend away and just have a moment to just be blessed. Have your spirit, bless your soul, receive something inwardly, spiritually, or receive some knowledge that's going to help you and advance you in the things you're doing. Receive something that's going to bring peace. You don't know what each of these authors bring, but when I say they bring their A game, they really do. And so I'm very thankful for that. We're not going to be much longer, but Lucretia, is there anything else you want to say to our viewers today?
Wow. Well, as it pertains to bringing your A game, what I want to say to folks is this is something that I want you all to ponder and think about. Where can I improve? Because we're always looking to improve, make a change, or just be true to ourselves. So many times people are out there and they're going to work every day and they hate what they do. They're going because they think they need to go so that they can bring a paycheck home just to live, or just to survive. What about living? What about enjoying life? What about all the things that were promised to us? And it is a promise, but we just have to take advantage of it. So what does it look like for you? And that's what I want to say to folks. I could talk about me all day about how I did a change, and I can tell you what you see now. What you see now right here with bringing your A game and the 7 Ups to Success and all the other trainings and things that I do. I wasn't like that, let's say even 20, 25 years ago. It all started from personal development. And so it's a little step at a time where you work on you. And so I say, work on you. There are folks around you, but you can't give up your life to someone else. You can't live, nobody else's heart beats in your chest, right?
Right. True.
There are folks there. Everyone has responsibilities, but you've got to carve out some time for you. And as you carve out time for you, your personal space and everything is going to grow. It's going to grow. It's going to grow because you're going to shift your mind over to focusing on things that's going to help you grow instead of things that you can't do anything about.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really great advice, because when you focus on you and you get yourself together, now you can have a clearer mind to look at the other things that's before you that you need to, that you may want to step into or do or advance in. So I think that's really, really great advice. I love it. I thank you for spending the time with us and coming here. I do want to say this, though. I think I can't wait to it comes to the point when you do the book with your twin sister, because I know that's going to be like a really great seller. Because how many twins would not want, not even just twins? First of all, I think twins would want to pick up that book and see what other twins have to say.
Yeah.
And secondly, and I have twin grandsons that are 21 now. Okay. I started as a grandmother at 2. No, I'm just kidding. But but I also have one of my daughters is about to have twins too in July. So I'll have 2 sets of twins that'll be in our family from, in my group, my age. There's other twins on other sides of the family. But it's really interesting how, and like you said, you've always had that person, that partner with you when you have a twin. So I think it's going to be an exciting book, not only for twins to read, but for other people to read, to see what it's like to have that person right there with you from your mom's womb to living each day of your life.
Yeah, exactly. And that would be a real good one for us to talk about and bring her on because
Yes.
as we were talking, even the other day, we were talking, and I brought up something that happened back in the neighborhood, and she remembered it, and then we started talking. We have almost the same memories, and could tell the same stories the same way about different situations that happened, as we
Wow.
were growing up. If you put me in one room and put me in another, and you say, "Hey, what about that time you all painted your faces when your mother gave you a little paint set that she took away from us?" You know, and I used to think about that all the time, like. I may have been an artist if Mama hadn't taken it. But anyway, that's here. But we tell those same stories the same way. It's amazing. We even had the same imaginary playmate.
Wow. Now that's crazy.
It's so different. I mean, I don't know what it's like to not have that person, from the time we were talking about our first memory. And my first memory from way back as an infant or child or toddler, whatever, is of her. And her first memory is of me. Can you believe
Oh,
it?
that's so beautiful.
So we've always had a great support system, growing up all the way from conception to now. I've always shared whatever. And so I think that also helps with who I am, my confidence, her confidence, because we've always had that thing where we were, no matter what was going on around us, we had each other and we
Aw.
supported each other, and we were never pitted against each other. I've seen parents pit their children against each other and all that. We were always supporting each other no matter what. We had different paths that we've been on and just been that great support system. So, I mean, that's a whole nother book.
It is. It is. See, guys, you got a little preview of that too. Now that's gonna be interesting. And I'm actually going to do a show where I'm just going to bring on because I got a lot of friends that are twins, and I
Yeah.
want to bring you guys on and talk about what it's like being a twin, like a lot that you shared with us just now.
Mhm.
And so that'll be a fun show to do. I think it'll be really interesting. What do you guys think? You want to see that? Yeah, that's going to be on my other show.
I like the way you did that. I like the way you did that. Hey, Rhonda, one other thing
Yes.
that I'd like to bring up, and I'm going to probably talk about this. One of the questions that was asked of all of us is if you could interview any person, living or deceased, who would it be and why? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because we're in halfway through Black History Month.
Mhm.
Which is for the other folks, not us, because we're always, we don't live it just 1 month. But I said that I would interview my great grandmother, who was
Hmm.
my mother's grandmother, Ellen B. Mosley, and she was born at a time in South Carolina where enslavement was just getting over, and even though um, she was, came up during a time when Black people in this country were just it was just one of those, that's,
Mhm.
but she was a leader in the community, and folks came to her for a lot. She was the kind of the herbalist. She knew about healing. She was also a oh gosh, my mind just went blank. What do you call them when they birth?
Oh, and that midwife.
Midwife. She was the midwife everybody came to. And she, did all of this until she was well into her 90s, almost
Wow.
100. Yeah. And I really wish that I had had an opportunity to know her better, as better and been able to learn from her. And it would be so great to be able to go back and interview her to find out what life was really like. But one thing I'll say as I end up, she was so influential in the community and as far as healing, when the doctors um, didn't know how to help someone.
Hmm.
They used to say, if Ellen B can't help you, there's nothing we can do for you.
Wow, that's pretty deep.
powerful an
Yeah.
ancestor that I have in my lineage, and I got
Yes.
goosebumps talking about it. But we
Oh.
all have that, and I want
Mhm.
all of us to remember that the legacy that we all come from, because we come from a legacy, ladies and gentlemen, of making a way out of no way.
Mhm.
You got to remember that and embrace that. And when things look bad, when things don't look the way you think they should, just keep that in your mind and in your spirit. And that may help you reassess some things and go out and be determined to bring your A game.
Woo! I love it. I love that. That's cool. That was awesome. And you know what? You have a lot of it was your great grandmother, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of her characteristics in you. I know you're very health conscious. I've had the opportunity to dine with you, and you definitely want to keep people healthy and good. It's one thing to eat healthy, but you want to eat something healthy that tastes good too. So she's really showing
Exactly,
that.
exactly. And the healing things, and this
Yeah.
is a funny little story. When COVID came and everybody's using those chemicals, things to sanitize their hands, I said,
Mhm.
and my sister Letitia, she really does a lot of research, and my niece too. They do a lot of research on some things, and there are essential oils out there that's better than any chemical thing that you can have. So I would just encourage folks to Google and look up those germ killing essential oils like oregano, like clove, like lavender. And I have all those little drops put together, and the base of it is part alcohol and part peroxide, and I
Mhm.
put some lemon oil in there just to make it smell good. Shake that up, and I'm spraying that on my fingers, and that's what I use. And the chemical things that maybe
Mhm.
might get on your hands, or you touch your mouth, and all that stuff gets down in you. But if you're using natural stuff from the earth, it's killing the germs, but it's not killing you. And so,
Yeah.
I think about all of that too. You
Yeah,
know,
see, wise woman, y'all. Wise woman. She says she brings her A game in every aspect of her life. Now, see, she's not kidding. She's giving us some great nuggets, and
yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I am going to say thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate you. Make sure you share this video with someone that may need to be encouraged to bring their A game, and make sure you listen to some of the advice and apply it in your life and see if you don't experience a positive change. Okay, so I want to thank Lucretia for coming on, and tune in. We'll be back on Monday and with another dynamic author. If you want to be an author on the show, make sure you reach out to me. You can definitely go to our website and reach out to me via email there, or you can call 678 5599. All right, guys, good night and thank you. See you next time.
All right.